We're now recording the active scene.
Okay.
I don't know what any of that means. It says it's recording.
Okay. I microwaved a Baja Blast like half an hour ago.
Gross. I'm currently drinking Baja Blast.
You don't have to tell me how gross it was. It felt like drinking a puddle with sugar in it.
Oh, I love puddles.
No, you don't. Not this puddle.
Anyway,
this puddle's evil.
Good evening. We're back to
Good evening.
Oh, gee.
Unless it's the morning.
Yeah, I don't really know when you're listening to this. I know when we're recording this.
I can't imagine anyone is listening to this like as like their part of their morning routine.
If you're listening to this while you're brushing your teeth, you missed a spot.
Yeah, it's right
on
by
your
the
left incisor. Got some lettuce there. You'll thank me later.
Left beef.
Left beef. Anyways,
Anyways,
what are we talking about?
Oh, we're talking about the thing that the community is known best for in many people's eyes, and that's the controversies.
We're talking about controversies. We've been talking about doing the controversy episode for like 6 episodes.
Something like that. I still think we're on episode 7.
We're on episode 8.
Isn't true. Yeah.
I too forget that we filmed the New Year special.
I've gone but not forgotten, honestly.
For real.
That's how I'm gonna look at it.
Anyways,
is such an important thing that we did. Big learning experience for us.
What are you fucking rolling?
What?
It sounds like you have like a bunch of like beads in a plastic jar, and you're just like moving.
No, I'm playing Sonic Riders Zero Gravity.
Oh, that's what that sound is?
Is it loud? Should I stop?
No, I mean it's a little. It's noticeable.
Oh.
But
I'll just move things. How about now? Can you hear it now?
Not really.
Okay.
Anyways, controversies. I have to give credit to Tylerland264 because I've been watching that controversy iceberg a lot, and that's where I'm getting mostly the order. Half the stuff he talks about in that video I knew previously, but like that order is basically how we're doing things, and it's as far as I'm aware, that's a lot of where Taylor's gotten his information.
I mean, I knew about them too, Ben.
All of them, or like most of them?
A good amount of them.
A lot of them are weird. Like I don't think that one is like the most bare bones when it talks about Scott's retirement.
Well, sure. I mean, like, that one's also just like a thing people outside of the community would know, though.
Yeah, but like what led up to it, I doubt many people know.
Sure.
Well, that's not true.
Yeah.
It was everywhere on
what
Twitter
part?
That happened.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like what led up, because what led up to this, that's the first thing we're talking about, by the way.
Yeah, we're just jumping right into it.
Yeah. What led up to the retirement was just that he got doxxed for like all his political donations and stuff got leaked, and people were like, half the fandom was like, hey, he's a neo-Nazi, and the other half was like, it doesn't matter.
He went, oh my god, it doesn't matter. They changed their deadpan just like that. Yeah. I saw him. I
was on Twitter, and
I've never had Twitter ever.
Furry Twitter, and they were all like,
isn't that Blue Sky?
Pretty much. That's where all the furries went, because they were like, Elon's a neo-Nazi, and most people were like, yeah, but I know my login. And so they stayed here.
That's awesome.
That's basically what Twitter is now, is people who are too lazy to switch to fucking Threads or Blue Sky, so they're stuck here.
That's fire.
On the program ran by the dipshit owner of Tesla. All that to say,
Welcome to Scott Talking.
Scott Cawthon's retirement was basically just like, he was like, all right, if you guys don't appreciate me for what I do, I'm just going to focus on my family and write books.
He's like, no, come back.
And people like,
I mean...
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, in terms of people, I think a lot of people who were defending him were kind of hoping that they would convince him to come back on some level.
Yeah.
Not necessarily like that was the reason a lot of people like stayed by him, but
I mean,
I think that played a part in it for a lot of people.
It's stupid. That
it did for me.
I just didn't care. It's like, whatever. He's He's
Sure.
like a 40 whatever year old man. He has a family. He treats the people he treats well, and that's all that really matters. I don't care who he's donating to. Like as long as it's not like actual terrible people, it's just people he agrees with. It doesn't
it was just that there were people that were outspoken against the LGBTQ community, which, as we all know, plays a huge part and has a huge overlap with FNaF.
And of course, they are always rational and they don't get mad at everything.
They are abject. No, they are unaffected by human emotions and irrationality.
Yeah, they are very rational, and that just
as everyone,
which leads to, of course, Scott coming out and being like, "All right, well, I'm retiring. I'm not making games anymore." Which it
was more than anything, it was just annoying. That's how I kind of felt about the whole thing. It was an annoying reason for him to have to retire, even though I understood why.
Retire in heavy quotes. He still writes.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I still
announce a retirement.
Yeah.
It was frustrating more than anything.
Well, it was just like we could have well, I mean, not like we, but like
we could have done something about it.
The fandom could have just like chilled out.
Yeah.
And been like, wait, why'd you dox him though? Instead, they're like, no, he's a terrible person, and he just isn't. But whatever.
Sure. Yeah.
Everyone who's ever met
I think
he's
now
a nice, chill guy.
I think now people, like anyone who is like opposed to him like having any part in it realizes now that was dumb.
This will come back when we bring up the Vivzy Pop drama, but like,
oh my god,
also fucking helped.
That's true.
Because Viv was like, "Oh, he's a terrible person," and it's like, and people were like, no,
right.
He isn't. He's just like an old fart with family. He's not that old, but it's like it's not that weird for you to be like a father and a religious guy and be conservative. That's not weird.
No, honestly, it's surprising that someone who wrote so many Christian themed short films and animations was not like seen as someone who would like be conservative.
Yeah. I don't know.
The fact that they didn't put those two things together is peculiar to me.
Doesn't make sense, and it led to this like whole panic that was stupid.
Yeah,
but like,
you're right.
Oh, you kind of have the falling out though of like the retirement.
Fallout. You love Fallout.
I do, big fan. But like the fallout of that was like. Now we don't get Scott games, for better or for worse. But like, I feel like the what really helped me realize that like, okay, he's really not making games anymore was Security Breach, which is the next point on the list and the next controversy.
Yeah,
and it's controversial for basically
for being bad.
Yeah, for just sucking complete dick. And it's proprietors of that, like people who like made it worse. Will be brought up later. Like people like King Carter. Well, not really King Carter, but he Fiznom.
Fiznom was who I was thinking of.
Fiznom. They were like the biggest people because it's kind of a cyberpunk No Man's Sky story where it was like it's not ready yet, but they rushed it out anyway.
The only difference is they didn't really update it after the fact.
No, they didn't make it complete or good.
Right.
Or functional.
Yeah, but, who really needs that?
Who needs that when the characters are funny? And the whole...
Yeah, you get it.
The whole of Fur Affinity will, DeviantArt will thirst over Roxanne Wolf for 1,000 generations. So who really cares if the game functions?
Yeah, I mean, it has longevity that some games will never feel, and... It's fucked up because those games are way better.
I still playing Titanfall 2 and realizing that we have to wait that long to queue into a lobby. It is
Right.
makes me sad because like that game had slightly less longevity than Security Breach, and it's just like a few weirdos in the corner of the internet are like, make Titanfall 3.
Yeah.
It's
there's the sillies.
and people still talk about how Security Breach is just overhated, and it isn't.
Mm-hmm. I mean, in that way, I guess it did succeed.
Longevity.
And if you want to talk about controversy, like there is something like usable with controversy if you're like talking about people talking about it. I mean,
yeah, and we talk about it fucking all the time because they hate
every
it.
single I think we brought it up every single episode.
Yeah, it's hard not to. It's low hanging fruit. It's really easy to bring up how dog shit that game is.
Yeah.
I hate it. You hate it. We all hate it.
I don't hate it. I just don't really like it.
I don't know. I don't. I think it sucks.
As someone who's never played it, it's okay.
As someone who has attempted to play it and has found a way to make it fun by cheesing, for lack of better terms, I use Wiimod and I've turned the super speed.
You're admitting to not piracy, but
to cheating. Yeah,
unlawful modifications.
I don't give a fuck. That game sucks.
Of a video game.
My game sucks.
Yeah, I wouldn't give a fuck either until they like slap me with a lawsuit.
They're not gonna sue me.
Because as you know, we're the biggest FNaF podcast in the planet, and they're gonna get our asses.
They don't care, dude. Steel Wool knows that game is bad, and they just.
I'm sure they do.
Some do. I was listening to an interview, and they're like, "Look, we did the best we could with it," and I'm like, "No, you didn't."
I mean, I think I could believe that, honestly, if it's like a thing about not having enough time, crunch time.
It wasn't crunch time. It was, I mean...
I'm not saying it was, but I'm saying, like, if that was the case, then yeah, they did the best they could, probably.
I think it was silly for a studio. First off, they called it a AAA game, and Steel Wool is not AAA.
Anything but.
They are an indie game company that primarily does really...
It got a lot of attention.
VR games. And they're like, okay, yeah, we can make an open world game. And then they just didn't think about how that would work.
Sure.
Like the scale of everything, if the that's why I kind of like VR, because everything is a little smaller in Help Wanted 2. But like in Security Breach, that game is impossibly huge. Like the Mall of it's like the size of the Mall of America for no reason. This place would never operate. And it sucks. But that's like... Damn. So like everything just feels like big and empty and lifeless. Anyway, we don't need to get into why I hate Security Breach again.
Yeah, I feel like at some point we need to just make that an episode.
We could.
It wouldn't be hard. You have a lot to say about it.
Yeah, it's really bad.
And I could probably just sit down and listen for the whole thing.
Have another episode where Bryson is later like, Ben, what happened in that episode? Why did Taylor say nothing?
Yeah. Which episode was that?
I think it was 3. Where we were in call, not like immediately afterward, but a little bit afterwards. Like, yeah, he didn't say shit. I was like, oh, fuck.
I don't remember that.
I just yapped for like an hour and a half.
Oh, you're just talking about you just like being like on a rant. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was the whole episode.
That's okay. I'm okay with that.
But no, what I guess what I'm trying to think of what made Security Breach controversial now. I mean,
it was just very much not what people wanted from it.
Yeah. I mean, I think the most lasting controversy in my eyes from a story standpoint would be Gregbot.
Yeah, that's another thing on there.
Yeah.
We can probably move on to that.
Matthew Patthew and his...
It's not Patthew.
It's Matthew
Sorry.
Patthew.
It's Matthew Patrick.
Matthew Patthew.
It's crazy that people still don't know that.
I know it's Matthew Patrick, but I think
I don't
Matthew
care.
Matthew was funny.
It's not Pat. It's not
Matthew. It isn't.
It's dude. Never disrespect my goat like that.
Matt Pat, dude. I think
he got everything wrong, and like he was very bad at making theories in hindsight, but he's still my goat.
This is probably one of his better theories. People just didn't want it to be true. Now, Gregbot, I could totally see it. He did not provide good examples of why Gregbot could exist. But as a theory,
by theory
100%.
You mean the actual, like, if you're talking about the actual, like, claim he's making, sure. But he did not, like, convince people of it very well at all.
No. I don't think it's like a robot of the crying child. Again, I hate the idea that these games are
tied to the last story. Yeah.
I also don't like the theory. I read or I listened to a theory where it was like the whole of this new timeline, the new games, is just like the old games are just games in that franchise, and everything else.
Yeah, that was also Matt Pat.
I don't remember. This specifically was not a Matt Pat theory. It was what I was.
Okay, well, he had a theory like that at one point.
And I don't like it. It devalues.
No, it's dumb.
Previous games.
It does.
It's like the meta switches, and I don't like that.
It's very similar to Dream Theory, actually.
It's just Dream Theory, but dumber.
Oh, I don't know. Dream Theory is pretty dumb, Bryce. Ben.
Dream Theory, I still think it happened, or I think at one point it was considered.
But I don't know if it was ever actually the actual idea.
I don't think that was the intent with FNaF 4.
No.
I think you could make a good
I think
case
that's just a result of him not really knowing. Like he made it. That's a good sign that your story is too convoluted when people are assuming it's just all a dream.
Well, when FNaF 4 came out, and I didn't put it on this episode's timeline, but Dream Theory is a controversy.
Very controversial.
So we'll allow it. But like with Dream Theory specifically, I think like there's enough breadcrumbs that where it could have been a thing. But like FNaF 4 was basically just retaliation for people figuring out FNaF 3 too quickly.
Pretty much.
Like,
he was angry that the community came together to work on something.
No, he was mad that they solved it too quick. He wasn't mad that they were working
by
together.
coming together.
No, he liked that. He thought that was cool. It was just like, you beat it in 2 weeks, you fucks. I just released it. And it's like,
if you say so.
I mean, he said that in an interview.
Oh yeah, but like he's angry at the fact that, not the fact that they all came together, but the fact that they it's not going to be frozen yet. The fact that they solved it too early.
Yeah.
As a result of coming together.
Yeah, when an entire fandom is like, oh shit, the new game, because like FNaF 3 was the most probably one of the most hyped up games in history.
Probably.
Like, I can't think of, besides like Halo 3, I can't think of a game that had that much hype behind it.
Halo 2 came pretty close. I don't know, man.
Halo 2 came close, but like, you know how many flavors of
Are you talking about
soda?
outside of?
Yeah.
Outside of Halo. Halo 2 is like the example of like a blockbuster in video games.
Yeah, no, it's weird how like Halo 2 had like a Star Wars, and 3 had like a Star Wars The Force Awakens level hype.
Yeah, like there was an ARG, I Love Bees.
That's kind of wild. Anyway.
And also, yeah, one more thing, just to exemplify it, they had commercials. They was like the first game to have like commercials play at like before movies or trailers. Like that's kind of where that started.
Yeah, I think it's cool.
And as a result, we got the FNaF movie.
Don't say that Halo is the reason we have a FNaF movie.
I'm not saying that.
Okay, well, to be fair, there was a Mario Bros. Movie and a Sonic show before Halo existed.
Sonic movie.
What? No.
There's a Sonic show, like...
The Sonic movie came out after Halo existed.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, there's also a Doom movie. Have you seen that?
That's bad. It's really bad.
It's horrible.
Don't bring
It's
it
so
up.
bad.
I'm currently playing through, like, not at the moment, but like the game I'm playing
through
at the moment is Doom Eternal, and that game is it's so good.
Yeah.
But FNaF, Gregbot, people don't like it. I don't really care.
You're right. You're right.
I don't really
It's just
care.
it's whatever, man.
I think it's possible. I wouldn't be that surprised if Gregory turned out to be a robot. I just don't care that much.
Yeah, because it's dumb.
Yeah.
I think that being the poster child for the new lore of FNaF, it really exemplifies where the franchise was at that point in time.
I like that they're going in a different direction with it, but they were definitely leaning into like the whole all of these are like computer viruses and robots and shit, and I just couldn't. Like,
yeah,
Ruin being all like AR shit, and I think it's, again, I don't love the story of Help Wanted 2 just being like Cassie's dad going to work.
Yeah, sure.
But like, I like the idea of like an AR mask swapping realities, but only for a VR game, because in Ruin, it just like, it seems like a cop-out and also is poorly explained. Like, oh, I have this mask on, now I can alter the fabric of reality and walk through walls and shit.
Yeah, that's only for movies with Jim Carrey in it.
Yeah.
That's a reference to The Mask by Jim Carrey,
Yeah,
in case
like,
you guys were wondering.
He was at that point, he was like a cartoon character. He was obeying my cartoon physics.
I wish there was a cartoon character that was Five Nights at Freddy's. I wish they made more of those. Well, yeah, but I wish they made a real cartoon, Saturday morning cartoon of FNaF.
It would be a fucking dark cartoon.
What's the next controversy?
Illumix.
Oh, those guys. I love FNaF AR. I played it once and I hated it, and I never played it again.
FNaF AR.
So I didn't actually love it.
I think I hate FNaF AR secretly more than I hate Security Breach.
Oh yeah, it is widely like objectively probably the worst FNaF game.
Yeah, it's confusing because it's the one that feels like Scott had the least amount to do with it.
Well, yeah.
Weirdly enough, it felt like Funko made it.
Honestly, I mean, kind of. It's just all merchandise, and there's Easter Bonnie, or Chocolate Bonnie, and Melted Chocolate Bonnie. Those are two different characters in that game.
They use the same animations.
Same animations. They made one slightly more melted.
And like, apparently, the behind the scenes of that whole game was just an entire
Illumix
shit
is just
show.
is just a bad developer too, which doesn't help things.
Well, it was like their first game, like their first real game, kind of like Steel Wool with Security Breach. Illumix's first game, and it shows.
Very much so,
but like they had more people, like they had like 30 or something people working on it, and no one knew what to do. And like, wasn't there one lady who was like, who?
It was abusive.
No, but it was like someone went out and like reviewed the company poorly, and were like, they're all degenerates. They're all idiots. No one knows what's going on. No one knows what's happening. It's like, yeah.
I don't remember that, but
really,
I would 100% believe it.
I mean, it's a bad game made by people who clearly had no idea what was going on.
They probably did not play any of the games before making the game. At least none of the higher ups.
I mean, shit, most of, like, so the last three, this one and the previous two, are literally the ones that Scott had the least amount of involvement in, which speaks volumes to how fucking terrible Scott's retirement was, and how much
just how important Scott
cared.
How important he was to the game, really.
If y'all didn't, I say y'all, if people didn't just like shit on his whole vibe, he'd probably still be making games.
Yeah, probably.
Or having more of a hand in the games. Like, cause I remember like the FNaF movie came out and he like helped write it and was on set every day. and like all the actors were talking about how like low key of a guy Scott Cawthon was, because he is not a filmmaker, but people wanted a film. He's like, okay, I guess I'll learn how to do that.
I'll figure this out. I guess.
I made like animated short films in my basement. In the
yeah,
2000s.
and they were banging.
They were strangely well written, but like
they were banging.
The FNaF movie, you could tell that he knew what people wanted out of it because of the effect that it had on the fandom. Fans went, "Wow, that movie's gas," and normal people went, "That movie sucks." Like,
yeah,
it's not a good. Like, I love.
Hang on, are you saying FNaF fans aren't normal people?
No, but like, it's like if you made a My Little Pony movie. And you released it on Netflix, and it was just all fan service, and the entire like MLP community loved like the villain and the characters so much, but like normal people went, "What the fuck is this bullshit?"
They made a My Little Pony movie.
Yeah, I know. I got very specific about what that's My Little Pony the movie. That's the animated one.
High school or college or whatever.
No.
I think, right?
It's Equestria Girls. This is the animated.
Okay.
Well, I don't know why I know that. I've never watched the show, but the movie, like everyone loved the villain, and there was like this one like cat guy that everyone liked, but like most people who weren't fans of the My Little Pony movie or of the show were like, "What is this?" But like fans of the show really liked it. That's what Scott did.
Fair enough. Good for him.
Scott,
he knows his way around his fandom. I can respect that.
He does. And then the next
definitely does.
Well, the next controversy we have is proof that maybe he doesn't always know what they want in
That's true.
FNaF world.
Okay. No, I think the fans don't know what they want, actually.
Look,
in this case,
I love FNaF world.
We're big. This is a safe space to say we love FNaF world here.
I like FNaF world, but I'm not going to sit here and tell you that that is the direction Scott should have taken. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that the game is even good, because it is missing a lot of core features that the game just should have.
I'll say it. The world wasn't ready for that game.
Don't say it's ahead of its time.
It was.
No, was it?
The people, in retrospect, people now love the game.
Some do.
That means it was ahead of its time.
Somewhat controversial. People
people haven't played
FNaF
it.
World.
FNaF fans like FNaF World, and that's who matters.
I like the fan remakes significantly more, but I also...
FNaF World Redacted is amazing.
What's the one that's coming out? That's like because Redacted is just like slightly changing it. Sorry if you have to hear my Game Jolt client open. It makes a really loud sound. It didn't this time. That's great. Fuck, what was it? Oh, FNaF World Reglitched is literally this like from the ground up reimagining of FNaF World, and it looks awesome. I love the way this looks, but it speaks volumes. What?
I'll say it when you're done.
It just speaks volumes the fact that FNaF World, it's like a funny way to like continue the franchise, but Scott didn't really make it very well.
The idea of a FNaF World, a FNaF RPG,
that's effectively
was a good idea. Yeah, but anything that like fleshes out the characters more is going to, in any way, is going to make fans excited.
Right, but
because the whole franchise was built on things like that.
Well, what pissed people off about I think the most was like it was lore relevant, and it definitely shouldn't have been. If we're gonna have like little spin-offs,
okay, yeah.
Like I would be totally. That's what the genius of Pizzeria Sim. That's why we like Pizzeria Sim so much, was because it like the bait and switch of, oh, it's a little like restaurant tycoon, and then immediately you realize, oh wait, this is fucking FNAF 6, and he has made FNAF 6, and it feels in line with all the previous games. FNAF World should have just been what we thought Pizzeria Sim was going to be, just a spin-off. The lore relevance. What?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
I want to talk. I have something to say about Pizzeria Sim when we're done here.
Oh, okay. FNaF World's story is okay, but I think that it wasn't something that we needed to know. Like, it's you piecing together the fragments of the crying child's brain, or like collecting his remnant so he can move on. But like,
right.
No.
It was like I said, it's ahead of its time.
Yes.
So Pizzeria Sim with the it starts off as like a little mini game, right?
Yeah.
And we were just talking about how there's a theory about like all the games that came before were just video games. I don't really have anything to say past that. I just think it's interesting.
Okay. After FNaF World, I mean, it's controversial. People didn't want it. It wasn't the direction that Scott necessarily should have taken, but we like it.
Yeah.
Into Fazbear Frights, not FNaF 3, the books.
Yeah.
Taylor, do you want to talk about what makes those so controversial?
Probably the MPreg, if I'd have to guess.
It's all of it.
Yeah, no, they're just horribly written. But the MPreg definitely didn't help.
I don't think they're like that poorly written.
They just meander, or they're like way too fast paced. From everything I've read about them, just makes me not want to read them.
It's like someone who wants to do Goosebumps, but like Goosebumps, they're all their own book.
The problem with Goosebumps is that Goosebumps is good.
The thing with Goosebumps is they're all their own like books, and they're not long, and so they're basically short stories. And Scott,
they
put like 3 short stories in one book, which doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and then he tried. Okay, if you're gonna make like a spin-off, like anthology of a bunch of different stories from this universe, that's cool as fuck. That's awesome. Do that. Don't make it relevant in any way. Don't make us like take a parts of the books, but only certain parts of the books, to like figure out how to figure out the lore. Don't make that the like integral part, like way to solve it.
Fazbear
just make them fun, scary stories. I thought they they have like aspects from
Tales
them
from the
that you can take.
Pizzaplex does. Fazbear Frights doesn't.
No, that started with Fazbear Frights though.
It started with the Silver Eyes.
Well, yeah.
The Silver Eyes.
The way that
everyone.
The way that books interact with FNaF frustrate me to no end.
Hello Neighbor.
I don't think there's any book that they've written that make me like more invested in the world.
Security Logbook.
Okay. There's one book that I enjoy how it interacts with the overarching lore with.
Yeah. If you're going to do anthologies or separate timelines or whatever, first off, Into the Pit was done better as a game. It feels like everyone just completely reimagined how that would work, how that story would exist, and it's better as a result.
Yeah.
Into the Pit is a really, really good game. It's aggressively good. But like the book is not, it's easily the best of them, of the Fazbear Frights novels or the stories, was not good.
Yeah.
But people are pissed off. Like, the impreg is weird. I thought, like, as a concept, that's like you can get away with having like, oh, a little guy, like you rip open your skin and there's a little guy in there.
Yeah,
not making like a fetish thing.
It's one of them.
That he calls him
it's one of the like most popular. Yeah,
is weird. That's what sealed the deal.
And also that his name was Matt, and he was like theorist or whatever.
Okay,
that part was weird.
Scott, he says that wasn't based at all on Matt Pet. It definitely was.
You can say that all you want, dude. We know what you meant.
Scott, you were clearly making fun of him, and that's fine, and no one cares,
just
and everyone thinks it's funny, but don't be like a little liar. You'll be like, no, I just ran out of names. You had two. Look, we know you ran out of names when you made 2 Fritzes.
When you made
3
Jeremys.
Yeah, 3 Jeremys, 2 Fritzes. Yeah. Like, have you ever met anyone named Fritz?
No.
Okay, I met one guy named Fritz, but like no one.
Okay,
is
you're
named
weird
that.
then.
I met him in Leavenworth.
Oh, okay. I actually believe you. I 100% believe that, actually.
He was a little... I don't remember. I think I met him at the fucking doghouse.
Huh.
He was a chill guy. He was drunk as shit, though.
Fire.
Which makes sense. That is a bar. Anyway, enough about Leavenworth and how awesome it is.
And how you might have to mute that place. That's not true.
That's not true. No.
No, it's not a person.
Anyone who ever visits Washington, go to Leavenworth, please. It's cool.
Yeah, it's
also
cool.
There are 2 sausage gardens. There's the one by Kiered, and then there's the one that isn't. Go to the one by Kiered. If you go to the other one, you're gay and a lib. I might have to censor that one out.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Oh, wait, no, if I censor it, people are going to think I said something infinitely worse.
Yeah, but that's
I'm going to
funny.
censor it anyway. You're plump.
That's awesome. You're boom.
Just imagine I'm saying what Alex Jones called out one guy that one time. You're a fake and a fraud. And he fucking chases him. Anyway, Fazbear Frights, bad.
Not good.
Controversial because they suck cock.
Yeah.
Now, my personal, what's next is my personal favorite controversy because of how pathetic it is.
Is it Theft King?
It's Theft King. I love Theft King because he is such a pathetic fucking pock.
Dude, he is deplorable and he should go to hell. Because he said mean things on the internet.
If there was a hell, he would burn for all eternity.
He got rickrolled.
He got so bad. No, Theft King was right. I like how the fandom is also split on that. Like, if Theft
an
King
evil and
should have said
deplorable
that.
person.
So okay, so let's walk through.
Let's back up. Let's go back up.
Do you want to talk about it, Taylor?
I mean, I don't know. You're doing a pretty good job explaining things.
Okay.
I mean, I think we should start with Aftonville, right?
I mean, not really, because I guess it is the catalyst.
Yeah, he was interviewed.
No.
He interviewed some. No, didn't he?
He wasn't.
He interviewed someone about. No, he interviewed the dev or someone that was working on Aftonville.
Liam, the head dev.
Right, and then they accidentally broke an NDA, and he didn't realize that. And when he was asked to take the video down, he said no.
He was like, no, I don't have to do anything.
I don't even think the video was doing that well until that happened, until like after fact.
Well, until Kane Carter was like, hey. Because Kane Carter was the one to tell Jelly Liam's like, hey, dude, that breaches an NDA. And Jelly Liam's like, yeah, but like the worst they could do is like a cease and desist. And they're like, no, the worst thing they can do is arrest you.
Yeah.
Take you to court. And he goes, oh, fuck.
Wait. Could you not do that?
And so he's like, hey, Theft, I need you to take that down. Like, I breached an NDA. I really shouldn't have done it in the first place. And he's like, nah.
I'm good. I'm good.
It's a good video. I wasted time on it. I don't want to get rid of it. He goes, no, but you need to, like, I could get arrested. And he goes, well, you shouldn't have done it. That sucks. You suck. It sucks to suck.
To an extent, I understand that, but also, like, it's not really, like, affecting you at all.
Yeah.
You could have just done it.
You could have just privated it. Like, it's not that big a
it's
deal.
really not that big a deal.
And then, like,
if it is preventing someone from going to jail, I think I can stretch my morals a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, like, and plus, just do another video. I mean, he did another video. That wasn't really the first instance of Theft King controversy, but like it's the one that relates to FNaF.
He was never like a squeaky clean individual.
Well, the first thing was Poppy Playtime because he made a whole video. He's like, how Mob Games is the worst company and they're all shitty. And Mob Games is like, hey, dude, look, that was all in the past. We've learned, we've atoned. We kept it in private because it wasn't important and people didn't really know about it. So we were like,
what do you think of Poppy Playtime 4, by the way?
I didn't play it. I didn't play.
It's supposed to be like pretty good.
I've heard
3 and 4
are really good. I just haven't played.
Yeah.
Been too busy.
We should play through them at some point.
Become a Poppy Playtime channel.
Maybe if we're a Poppy Playtime channel, then we could put gameplay in. You know?
I don't wanna.
You don't wanna change.
Oh.
You don't wanna do gear shift.
No, we have to wait for
No,
April
no
for
gear
that.
shift. Spoilers, dude.
Oh yeah, my bad. Anyway, so yeah, the whole Poppy playtime, Bob Games was like, hey, that was a long time ago, and then he started loving Poppy playtime, and the fandom went, huh, that's weird. And then the Afton built stuff happened, and he's like, huh, that's weird. And then Theft King, in his like quest to be the dumbest person ever, decided to just like lie about Kane Carter ignoring his DMs.
Yeah.
And then Kane was like, hey, that's not true, and then sent screenshots of their DMs. It's like, look, it's just like normal shit. I never ignored him. We had conversations. He's just annoying. And then he goes, and then like, Theft King issues a response. Like, he's like an open letter to Kane Carter. He's like, I'm really disappointed in him, and like, you know, I love Pop Goes. And like,
right, this is Theft King, right?
Yeah, this is Theft King. I love Pop Goes and Kane Carter.
Delivering an open letter is crazy.
Yeah, and it's literally because Kane Carter's like, you're a liar. And then like, Kane responds.
He like cursed his entire fucking bloodline because he called him an obnoxious asshole.
Yeah, he was like, Kane was just like, you're annoying. And Theft King is like,
and I took that personally.
Yeah, of course I took that personally. And then like he makes that whole response, and then Kane is like, I'm not even gonna begin to deal with this. So he did the Fiznom technique of, this doesn't deserve my attention, Rickroll.
Yeah.
And which is funny. That shit's hilarious. Fuck the fandom, part of the fandom who's like, he shouldn't have done that, he should set a good example. No one cares. He made Pop Goes. I like Pop Goes, but I haven't played Pop Goes Arcade. I've only played the like original Pop Goes.
It's okay. I mean, you know, it's just kind of like FNaF World almost, but like not FNaF World. Don't take that. It's not like FNaF World. I take it back. Please don't cancel me.
Well, it's the idea.
It's not like
of
FNaF
it
World
being just like
it is 8-bit RPG
to explain the world a little bit.
Yeah.
But like,
Kinda.
so Pop Goes is like a big deal. Everyone likes it. And like, so Kane Carter, people are like, oh, he should set a good example. Why? He's a fan game developer. Yeah, he's in the Fanverse initiative. But like, that was a stupid controversy, and Theft King is pathetic.
Yeah. Gonna set it better myself.
And then, after the king gets rickrolled, he goes on a live stream for 5 hours and just cries. The whole time he's like, he likes to see people suffer, and if there was a hell,
is an evil and vindictive person at heart.
And he goes like, if there was a hell, he'd burn
that is
for
a
all
quote.
eternity. And it's like, dude, he just rickrolled you. And
What a monster! What a monster! I can't believe he'd do that. It's not like everyone.
Funny.
It's not like everyone ever has been rickrolled.
Yeah, and first off, there's like, you could make an actual case to cancel Kane Carter for a couple of things he did.
Sure.
Like the Markiplier shit was annoying. Him saying the N-word a lot, like a little addiction, was annoying, and you could call him out on that shit. But you called him out for nothing, for a lie, and then he's like, that's not true. Rickrolls you, and you just started crying for 5 hours. First off,
and then people went into his stream and started making fun of him.
Kane himself went in and left a donation just to fuck with him. It was funny as shit.
It's awesome.
And then Theft posts the whole thing in its entirety to hope to like that someone will be like, oh, the poor guy. But everyone's like, you're a fucking pathetic waste of space. Talking about this shit.
It's just absurd.
Anyway, fucking, it's so funny. Like, I don't know if any of you have watched Theft King. I had watched Theft King before the stuff happened. I thought he was like a little annoying.
I watched his breakdown of Shipwreck 64.
Okay.
And it wasn't very good.
I watched there's like a video he did on Afton Built, not the interview, but like it was like the end of the fanverse, and he was like, oh, Afton
Sure.
was the one that was shafted the most because it was too ambitious. And I go, that's a valid reason to not pick up something.
Yeah, sure.
I totally
like, if you want,
see why Scott did not pick up Afton Built. It is way too high concept.
I would
for an
understand
indie
that
dev.
if half of the Fanverse games didn't get fucking canceled.
Yeah, but like the ones that everyone wanted to see come out besides FNaF Plus are coming out. Like Pop Goes is coming out. Joy Creation has a playable demo on Steam.
One Night at Flumpy's 3 did come out, I guess. You're right.
Come out. We just didn't get
like
the other one.
You know.
We can get 1 week because...
We just didn't get, we just aren't getting 4 probably.
Well, probably not.
You want to talk about that one next?
We have to talk about the pair.
Oh, I love the pair. Big fan of fucking worst people of all time.
They're worse than Theft King because
honestly,
like it's literally
they did some fucked up shit. Like,
do you want to talk about the pair now?
I think we should. It's good transition. I don't know.
Yeah.
So for some reason, people in the FNaF community, they took the Fanverse initiative competitively, which is fucking bizarre to me.
Look.
And decided to team up, form an alliance.
Look, the Fanverse is like the best idea in concept. Yeah. But in practice, it was just one guy who
forgot about human greed.
Yeah. First off, Scott should have had a team.
No, yeah.
Scott is one guy. I like all the credit in the world that he even attempted to do it by himself. He shouldn't have done it by himself. That was a recipe for disaster. So what we got was favoritism, more or less.
Correct.
It was basically nepotism, but the problem was with the nepotism, everyone was okay with it because it was Nixon, who was bafflingly good at game development and animation. Like, have you played Those Nights at Rachel's recently?
No.
It still holds up.
Yeah. Nixon is just that bitch.
Nixon is ridiculously talented, and how he's just relegated to the fandom is ridiculous. He could do his own shit, and it would be amazing. He knows. Yeah. He clearly knows his shit. All that to say that when the pair decides that, all right, instead of we're just gonna break Scott's nepotism, we're just gonna go in and we're gonna try to be this cool alliance. I don't know what
it's not fucking Survivor. It's not total drama.
It's not like he's voting people in and out of the fandom. Yeah,
and also then, I don't know the name of the 3 people, and I don't particularly want to give them exposure.
No,
in any sense.
Apparently,
but it was 3 people who were well known in the community. But that's it.
I don't know who any of them were. I don't know any of their games.
They were sort of respected, but I don't know much past that.
But then they just started being they started using people got mad at them for using slurs, and that's annoying and shitty and stuff. But, they were just acting like a bunch of college students and bullying literally everyone over
not even
everything.
High school student, high school.
Oh, that's probably true. I was thinking drunk college students.
But they were trying to be edgy, and they just the way they talked just reminded me of some certain people from high school.
Yeah, but it was and they were oh, look, we have Scott's wedding photos. Oh, look, we have DMs with 2 of the devs on fucking 5 Laps at Freddy's. That wasn't true, but they had DMs like that. And it was just them sitting around bullying people and then doxing people. And being annoying pieces of shit. And then they got doxed.
Yeah.
For being shitty. Because, anyone who got in with the pair realized that they're just deplorable. In every sense of the word, they're just being shitty to be shitty. And so they get doxed, and the whole thing falls apart. And it's what was your logic? Why were you trying to be this cool edgy
Did you say what their thing was? They they acted like they were like hitmen, and they had like
that's true.
They're like, is there anyone else we need to, and then in quotations, take care of, or whatever, and then they would like put ha 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 and send that message. Like that was cool.
Yeah, but like,
and then the people they were doxing were other people on like Game Jolt that were releasing games that were popular because they wanted their games to be on the front page.
Which doesn't make any fucking sense.
No.
Like, you're not gonna be like respected and cool for being a shit.
You just make giving people less of a chance to like be exposed to the games.
Yeah.
By like limiting the amount of games that come out.
Like, I don't really know any of their games, but like, they looked cool. They looked fine.
Sure.
Solid proof of concept. I'm sorry, objectively speaking, you're not competing with the joy of creation. You can't compete with that. No one can compete with that. No one knows what Nixon is on that allows them to just like pump out these.
It's cocaine.
It can't be. Cocaine doesn't make you that good at animation.
Maybe it's like really good cocaine then.
Maybe it's like really high end Colombian nose candy. Just like ridiculous. No, but like, I don't know what they expected. Like, why
fame and recognition, obviously.
Oh God, the it's like that one guy in like, was it like West Virginia? No, it wasn't West Virginia. In like Wyoming, who pretended to be a cop and would just like film himself being a cop, and he'd like pull people over.
Oh, I know and then he got arrested for speeding.
Yeah, but also impersonating an officer.
I think it's funnier that it was
he asked the cop what his badge number was, and the cop goes like, "What's your badge number?" It's like, dude, you're not a cop. That's what the pair was.
God.
They're like, "Yeah, we can just like take people down," and people are like, "No, you can't.
No, no one likes do not have that pull. You are a like Discord moderator level of authority,
if that." Like.
You're less than a Discord mod.
Yeah, because like a Discord mod has a little control over a particular fandom. These guys were not that respected.
They had a bit of influence, maybe.
It wasn't Jonochrome and Kane Carter levels of respect. It was like, who's the guy who did? I've literally been playing. Who fucking developed Next Week at Freddy's? Which, by the way, fuck all of the FNaF fandom for not knowing what that is. The fact that like, not a lot of people knows what that game is, and it's that good. Ren Fox, by the way, Next Week at Freddy's.
Okay.
Not a lot of people know what that game is. It's so good. It's like impressively good. Play that game. Play Next Week. That's your homework. Play Next Week at Freddy's. I was showing our number one fan, Daniel, Next Week at Freddy's, and he was like blown away that this was like a fan game. Just like some dude decided, you know what, I'm going to sit down and make this. And it was really, really good.
Really, really good.
Well, when we do our return to fan games, and we actually have a list of fan games, I'm going to like... It's going to be me going off on how amazing that and like Joy of Creation.
Yeah, I believe you. Didn't you talk about Joy of Creation last time?
Not very well. Like, not
I mean, I'm sure you'll just... I mean, this isn't stopping you from doing it again.
I will talk about Joy of Creation. That game, first off, the original hallway mode is a good idea.
Yeah.
Like, that's just a cool idea. And then story mode comes out, and it's just like one of the coolest stories. I don't exactly love the ending, but the presentation and the story itself is really, really cool.
Yeah.
And then, instead of just like letting it die and letting it just be like this really cool game, then he decides, all right, as part of the fanverse, I'm just going to remake the whole thing, and my demo is going to be so otherworldly good and well made that people don't think it's a demo. People just think that's the game. That's what the game's going to be. That's the demo. We haven't even got anywhere close to the real game. We might get it this year. He says 2025. If I have to wait till 2027 to get a game of that caliber, dude, That game is so fucking cool. But we're not talking about Nixon, because there is controversy about Nixon. It's like not that bad. You want to talk about Jonochrome?
Oh man, that makes me sad, but sure. Just like, okay, so One Night at Flumpty's, I think, is in conversation for the most like well-known good FNaF game. Have you played it?
I played the first one.
Second one is like incredibly like tight in terms of like mechanic wise. Like everything in it like flows into each other like very well. And it like in terms of like FNaF game like cycles, it's like people herald like FNaF 2 as being like, oh, it's like this is a good game because it's so hard. But like take that, but like multiply it by like 10, I guess.
And multiply it by 6.
What's that from?
Megamind.
Oh, that's fire.
Yeah, no, Flumpty's is
it was so well respected
level of parody, in that it's parodying something so well while also just being a good example of what that thing like. So
yeah, I like that.
It's a parody of Star Wars. But if you look at the story of Spaceballs and what they're trying to do, it's not that bad of a story. Like the characters are solid. That world makes some level of sense. It's just a good movie. And that's what Flumpty's is. It's parody of FNaF, but it's actually good. Like, it's a good, solid parody. It's a good game.
It stands on its own, yeah.
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 And the fact was, and so, like, he made 3 of them, and he was so well respected, he was able to get into the fanverse, which, for better, I mean, the fanverse happened. There are a couple...
It definitely happened.
There was a couple good things to come out of it, but, like...
Yeah.
FNaF Plus got canceled. At least we got Flumpty's 3. No one thought that was going to happen.
No, yeah. It came out, and then everything else came out.
Yeah.
Basically.
So, when Flumpty's 3 comes out, like a week after Flumpty's 3 comes out and everyone loves it, someone comes out with their story.
They always do.
And it was like, hey, he's a pedophile. But here's the weird thing. No one believed it at first. Everyone thought that it was... Like, in a weird change of pace, the fanverse didn't just bandwagon on him. They were like, no, this is way too close to Flumpty's 3 coming out for this to be real. This doesn't make sense. Like, why are you coming out now? Well, turns out... And I don't think he was, like, a traditional pedophile. He did abuse his platform, and he was definitely grooming...
Yeah,
being creepy and weird.
He talked about all like the weird things that pedophiles talk about, but he never did anything.
Yeah,
he just talked about it a lot.
He just like he didn't act like all pervy, like how
pedophiles are. He had a very romantic form of pedophilia.
Yeah, like he genuinely liked this person, which is. Whatever.
Yeah.
But still, gross.
Yeah. But it's still wrong on like a inherent level.
But what's ridiculous though is he probably didn't need to come out and admit that it happened. Like, could you imagine if he just like lied? And he was like, "No, that didn't happen. That's not true." He probably would have gotten away with it.
That is kind of crazy.
But no, he comes out and he goes, "No, that happened, and that's my bad."
He's like. We knew this would happen eventually. Like,
did say that. That's like how it started. Crazy. It was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, like it's awesome. I don't know.
It's awesome.
Awesome in a horrible way. I say awesome for a lot of things. You should know this at this point.
Dude, pedophilia, tight.
Dude, tight. Yeah, that's kind of like my general way of going about things.
It felt like a fucking. Do you know a pitch meeting?
Oh, I love pitch meeting.
Pedophilia
barely
is tight.
Suicide is badass.
Oh, that's a good one too. But like, he comes out and he admits to everything, which respectable. If you're gonna if you're gonna be a fucking creepy perv, at least to it.
Sure.
But like it sucks because he didn't have to be. He could have just been like,
Yeah, no.
child,
He's like,
Dude,
he just said no, thank you.
To not be a pedophile. Why are so many big names pedophile? Is it that hard? Drake,
Okay,
Jonochrome, how hard is it to not touch kids?
dude, it's really hard.
You're so
You don't get
respected
it.
and loved. You could get anyone you want, and you choose a child. Really?
I'm gonna actually not say anything at all.
Like,
I had like 3 ideas of what to say, and they were all horrible.
wait, are you gonna glorify pedophilia?
I don't want to say anything. Let's move on to the next controversy.
I'm not done.
Okay.
Like, look.
I'm not done with you, John.
Come on, man. It's just not hard. Like, I've done my whole life. I've not been a legal adult for that long. But not once.
As big as we are, you'd think that we were pedophiles.
Yeah. But like, I haven't ever looked at someone that much younger than me, like a kid, and be like, ooh, that's what I want. Why the fuck?
Yeah.
Then you're infinite. Like, you have, like, Jonochrome was so respected, and he clearly had a good sense of humor, and he had a good personality. And I don't know what he looks like, but I can't imagine he was that like bad looking. He could have just like gone to bars and stuff and met people, and be like, hey, I'm a relatively talented fan game creator, and people would be like, oh, that's cool, and like he could have gotten with someone his age, but instead this fucking weirdo was like, all right, kids. Like Drake is like a grown like he's one of the biggest names in music, right? He's one of the biggest artists in the world, and he chooses kids. Like, why? You don't have to. You could choose and you know it's bad. Like, that's why fucking Epstein's Island was so deplorable, but you still do it. Why? Well, you don't have to. You can date people your age. It's not hard. There's so many people.
Speaking of Drake, what's our next FNaF controversy?
Oh God, another fucking pedophile.
we might have to do a 2-parter.
On this person specifically, yeah. The next person on the list is Nicci, or Blackout.
Oh my God! Shout out to Nicci for doing everything horrible.
Why? Okay, so I love Dormidibus.
You do?
Let me explain.
You better.
The character designs are so bafflingly stupid. The gameplay,
in terms of like, it's so bad it's good. Then yeah.
No, it's so bad it's terrible. But like, it makes me cringe. Like, so okay, we have to explain this. So, it's FNaF, or Dormidibus is basically like a sequel, a fan sequel to FNaF 3, in that it's purgatory. It's Afton's purgatory, because we thought at that point that he was dead, because they said that was the ending, and then FNaF 4 said that was the ending, and there's like no reference to him hardly at all. So he's dead, in our minds. Yeah. So what this was
God rest his
Afton's
soul.
purgatory, and so he's basically being haunted by the amalgamations of his creations. But we didn't know he was William Afton at the time. We had to wait for the Silver Eyes to come out. So this guy's name is just Garvey, and you collect like tapes. I never understood this. So you have to collect tapes that you have recorded, and you can listen to them, and it's some 15-year-old expositing fucking like pedo fantasies.
Yeah, necrophilia.
Yeah.
Like,
but it's a 15-year-old trying to be like cartoonishly evil.
Oh yeah,
but it comes across as so fucking tone deaf cringe.
No, yeah. Like it's like the it feels like it should be a parody. It's so like, the voice acting is so bad. Like
it's dead ass.
It's
like so many guards I can bit. Like like that's
if they made a video game. If they made a video game out of so many guards I can.
Yeah, that's what that is, and it's baffling. Like the one that everyone thinks of is the one where he's like, there was a girl in the school, and it was so much fun, and it's like, dude, you are so fucking. It makes my skin
you're not doing it. You're not doing it
not
justice, and that's a good thing.
you can't do that plotline justice. It was written by a freak.
Yeah.
Nicci is a freak. So the Dormitibus comes out, and first off, the game is like not stable. It crashes every 4 seconds.
Right.
The gameplay is like so choppy and terrible. The concept doesn't make sense.
It runs at like it switches between frame rates or something. It's so weird. It gives me nausea, and I never get nausea playing video games.
Maybe when I'm playing VR and I'm playing like VR roller coasters, but like
sure.
Not in like a desktop game, but no, playing that game is genuinely terrible.
No, yeah, it's hard to play, for like many reasons.
Hard.
Yeah,
it has like so many mechanics that are not fleshed out or explained.
Right.
Watch the again. I have a lot to link. Watch the yeah video on it.
You're telling them, right?
Yeah, well, I've seen it. If you've not seen it.
Oh, I've seen it.
Okay.
It's great.
Because he goes into in depth why the gameplay sucks. So I don't really think we need to get into that. I've played Dormitibus. It's fucking terrible. I haven't played the remake. I wonder if that fixes some of it. I wonder if it gets rid of
like the idea of a purgatory is a good idea because it was used in FNaF.
Yeah, that's what Ultimate Custom Night is. And Ultimate Custom Night, oh god. Ultimate Custom Night is just Dormitibus, but it isn't terrible.
Yeah. It's like taking that just like incredible difficulty or whatever and like making it like actually like interesting to break down. Have you seen like breakdowns of Ultimate Custom Night?
Not a lot. I don't really
It is very interesting how much people like you want to talk about autism obsessions.
Yeah. I mean the whole FNaF fandom is just one big autism.
No, yeah, but like, Ultimate Custom Night is like autism for autism.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
But all that to say, Dormitibus as a concept sucks. The characters are terrible. The one cool kind of thing is like the stick figure, or like the little popsicle stick.
Oh yeah, things. Like the way they.
Too bad. What they show is actual murder, like in necrophilia,
right?
Which is gross. Like
so
what? It's the villain. That's still not a topic anyone wants to think or talk about. If you're going to make a necrophiliac or a pedophile,
you have to make them the most deplorable person possible.
No, you have to be gentle about how you show what's going on. You just don't show it.
Okay.
Like Freddy Krueger technically is a pedophile. And there was the remake of Nightmare on Elm Street where he was a full-blown pedophile, and no one liked that movie because it was just gross and weird. Like, don't show that. No one wants to see that. Even diehard horror fans have their limits, right? Like, I love the Terrifier movies, but if Art the Clown was like anything remotely sexual with the corpses, I would immediately turn that shit off because that's not what I want to see. If there's a puddle of guts on the floor and he points and laughs, that's funny. But if he starts like getting weird with it, then I'm going to think that's weird and gross and stop being interested.
Yeah.
So Dormitibus is like the most tone deaf nonsense, and it doesn't help that Nicci has like a list of things that like everything that's brought up in Dormitibus is like one of his fetishes or things he's into.
Yeah.
Which is weird.
No, yeah. Yeah,
like
that's the fantasy you're gonna make? Like
that's your fantasy? It's fucking like gross afterlife necrophilia pedo shit. That's what you're into? You sick freak.
And you made a FNaF fan game about it?
FNaF, the one thing you
have
to give
Scott, it to the public?
The one thing you have to give Scott props for is William Afton, he's a child murderer, but he's so careful to keep it just to child murder.
Yeah.
It is like, a lot to make a child murderer not the most
you can't say just child murder. It's not. It's never just child murder.
But you know what I mean? Like,
are you talking about? Yeah, I know what you mean.
The fact that is not the most horrible shit in the world, because if that person existed, like if William Afton was a real person, he'd be the most deplored. Like, he would not get off on a technicality like OJ did. They would find a way to link him to that crime, because that's absolutely terrible. But it's fictional, so we can extend our belief a little bit. But like, he is always tortured and beaten down. He's never the good guy. Even when he's like even in fan films where he's sympathetic, the reason he's sympathetic is just because he's trying to do something noble. I forget the name of the fan film you sent me, but it was like really good.
All in the Family.
Yeah,
I believe. And yeah, like that. It is not. He's not redeemable. He's sympathetic.
No, you have to be very careful when writing a villain like that. Like, no one's gonna think Freddy Krueger is a good dude.
Yeah.
I bring up Freddy Krueger because he's like a child-obsessed murderer. Like, he gets in their dreams and kills kids.
Right.
But like, everyone likes Freddy Krueger. Mostly because he's cartoonish, but also because they were very careful to not make him weird, to not make him a freak.
Yeah,
William Afton's great because he's not a freak.
He's just a horrible person.
Garvey is... for
other reasons.
First off, Garvey's in-game design is fucking awful.
Second of all, stupid-ass name.
Garvey sucks as a name. Third, it's so tone-deaf. It genuinely screams, I don't know what makes this character good. And first off, he wasn't a character at that point. But Scott kept like bringing him back and making him more and more...
Yeah, he prevalent. Just he needed like an actual like murderer.
Yeah. I mean, the best characterization of him, weirdly enough, is in the Silver Eyes, where
for sure,
like, he's crazy. He's just batshit insane. He's clearly damaged as a person. They don't redeem him. Like, he's traumatized and fucked up inside because all of his kids are dead or hate him. But like, he's trying to save them. That doesn't make him a good person. That ultimately makes like what he ends up doing worse, because that's not what anyone would have wanted from him.
You're meant to watch the downfall, not root for them.
Yeah. So like, what the fuck was Garvey? Why were we watching his fantasies? I'm going to have to go back and censor every use of that word. No one likes.
Yeah, what are you gonna change it to?
Probably. It's just too funny.
Yeah. It's just like, it's perfect.
It fits in.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll just like overlap cringy Garvey moans.
You could also make it the FNaF one, like they appear at the door and you turn the lights on.
Oh, that's true. Maybe I'll get that sound next.
Like, it's a good alternative if you ever get bored.
That's true. But like, fucking Garvey.
Garvey.
Dormitivus is a really, 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 really confusingly terrible game made by...
Dormitivus is, by somehow a worse person.
Well, because Nicci... First off, the audacity for you to be called out for having, like, and being weird to kids. First off, he brought his fantasies up with, like, 13-year-olds, which is disgusting.
Oh, yeah, I forgot he fucking was also a pedophile.
Yeah,
like,
he's a pedophile.
Actually doing, like... Okay, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I knew he was a pedophile, but like I forgot he like...
He's like he's not like Jonochrome, who was just like weird around kids. He was like a full-blown like, I'm gonna talk to you about my twisted fantasies. And the reason he could never land was because even these kids, for as much as they wanted to be like, ooh, an adult respects me, they're like, no, this guy's fucked up in the head. Because he is. That's disgusting.
Yeah.
Like, dead bodies, kids, and murder is not hot. I'm sorry.
No.
Sorry if that's a little controversial, but all that shit's gross.
No, that is just like, surely we have some sort of like lines that we don't cross in society.
Yeah, but he
that's definitely one of them.
But he did, and like he gets called out for everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
And everyone's like, you're genuinely disgusting. That's disgusting. You're disgusting. Like, you're a shitty person. And he goes and he like deletes all. He doesn't delete anything, by the way. He just like changes his profile picture to black and says, I've moved on and so should you. What the hell? Really?
Yeah, like, brother,
dude, you're talking
what are you talking about?
Like, again, I hate having to use his words. It's the only word I know. He's talking about raping and killing kids and talking to kids about this. This is gross.
I mean, you could say weird. Grooming.
No, this is
not much
like,
better.
Grooming is a little more gentle of a word than what he's actually describing.
Sure. Okay.
And he's getting like in depth. If you've read some of the messages that were leaked, they're like ridiculously graphic. For someone...
I wasn't sure if you meant what he made in the game or like what he actually did in real life.
He didn't do anything. He talked about
Exactly.
it. Because
exactly.
like, no, if he had, he would have been incarcerated.
Yeah, that's true.
But he got away with it because he was just talking.
Yeah, because words never did anything important in life.
Yeah, I'm not gonna bring that up. I'm not gonna make another World War II joke. But like,
yeah,
it's baffling.
This is definitely gonna be our like. It's not serious. Our most heavy-handed, not heavy-handed.
I'll
like
put a warning beforehand about the subject
maybe
matter
do that.
Like,
yeah.
It is a lot.
I mean, we're throwing these things around very casually, but this is like genuinely like horrible stuff we're talking about right now.
Low-key getting worked up about it because it is gross.
I can tell.
Like for Nicci and Jonochrome to an extent, and like the pair, like Theft King is just like kind of pathetic.
Yeah.
Like above all else, nothing. He didn't do anything deplorable. He was just like stupid and sad.
He just called other people deplorable.
The pair was like low key, like breaching privacy and acting like shitheads about everything. Jonochrome was being weird to kids. Nicci is like, this is disgusting level shit. This is monstrous behavior. This is gross.
Mm-hmm.
I went from like having like a smile on my face while I went on my fucking anti-pedo rant because it's like, how hard is it to not be a pedo?
A smile on your face.
Because it's ridiculous. I
know.
think pedophiles are so confusing.
Yeah.
But like Nicci,
especially famous ones.
Yeah. What? How hard? Tom Hanks. You just all you have to do. You have a wife. But like Nicci is like, oh, you know what my target is? Kids and dead bodies. Like, what the fuck, dude?
I guess that is how he found the FNaF fandom.
Ugh.
I guess we shouldn't be as surprised. I know.
Well, that's the thing. Was Scott was always careful about it. Scott was always
but like, it was as you can be as careful as you want. That's still the topic that's still the subject matter. There's no getting around that.
No, it is about dead kids. But first off, very rarely are the kids the focus. And that's a weird thing to say, but they never focus on the kids because there's a very easy way for that to get off track.
See, that's the problem. That's what the FNaF.
The only there's two real like kid characters with focus is Cassidy and Elizabeth,
and Charlie. I'd say Charlie has the same.
Yeah, but you don't really see a lot
of
mini
games
until
the puppet is a prevalent character in the entire
but
franchise.
These characters have like dialogue. Charlie doesn't really have dialogue until UCN. Elizabeth has a whole game where she's talking.
What dialogue does Cassidy have?
Well, I mean, literally half of the security logbook is just Cassidy interacting with Mike.
Okay, but that was Cassidy like right before Ultimate Custom Night.
Well, that was technically the security logbook happens before FNaF 3.
Okay, I'm talking about in terms of release date.
Oh, well, yeah. But, like, Cassidy is given, like, full character and given dialogue. Not, like, verbal, really. But, like, Cassidy's very prevalent. Especially in the later stuff. But, like, there's signs that Cassidy has existed. There's, like, the whole fan theory that the It's Me stuff isn't Crying Child. It's Cassidy.
Yeah.
To, like, date FNaF 1, kind of. To be like, all right, Cassidy is slowly becoming more aware of who people are and who's the bad guy and who's the good guy, and like but like by FNaF 2 and FNaF 1 it's so early on in the timeline and Henry hasn't made the games to explain that Michael isn't a shit.
Yeah,
so Cassie's just like blah, blah, blah. You didn't see me, but I
could have said it better myself.
I like you know when I like point and I bring my shoulders up.
Yes, I know. I
get into that like Tyler the Creator
Tyler the Creator mugshot.
Yeah. I did that, but like
that's fire.
It's so easy for FNaF to not be controversial because they just don't focus on certain things.
Yeah,
and then what they do focus on is supposed to be like Elizabeth's whole thing is you're supposed to see, oh right, she's an Afton, and she's very much an Afton, and you can tell she's going down the same route fucking William did.
Yeah.
And like Crying Child isn't given much of like an arc. The most characterization he gets is in 4. He's so not a character, he doesn't even have a name. They didn't give him a name until a Choose Your Own Adventure book years later.
They sure did, and
it was the worst name they could have picked.
Fucking Ralph.
Like, really? And first off, Scott, thank you for naming him the same as Phone Guy. And then you're like, you look at it again.
Yeah.
I've made this joke a lot in person, but it's like, who looks at a kid and goes, "Yep, Ralph"?
Yeah,
I had a grandfather.
It's like Bobby. Bobby.
No, Bobby, I could see. Oh, little Bobby, because it's Bobby is just short for Robert. And
Okay,
Robert is a
okay. Naming them Bob.
Yeah.
Naming them and calling them Bob, I guess, is what I mean.
Well, I mean, it's just short for Robert. Like, most of them are Robert, but they're called Bobby or Bob.
Just call him Bobber, you cowards.
Bobbert. That's
From
the character
Gumball.
in Gumball.
I know. And he's
But, like,
awesome.
Imagine looking at a small child and thinking, "Ah, yes, Earl." Like, what the fuck?
Jefferson.
I mean, Jeffrey is an alright name. Jefferson is like very. That's like a very formal name. Jefferson. You better be naming him after that, like Hannibal. If you're naming him like after Hannibal Barker, which is a Hannibal Buress joke. But like Earl. We had a famous safety for the Seattle Seahawks named Earl Thomas, and every time he went out on the field, he's a great player. But I'd go, who named him that and why?
I don't know.
I'm getting on fucking names. All this to say,
do you want to?
Has always been very careful about when they're talking about stuff that could be controversial, not going into specifics or stuff that is going to make things weird or gross.
I think, regardless of that fact, it being the subject at all is going to lead to creeps finding it.
Oh, well, yeah, we haven't even gotten to all the creeps or even all the weirdos.
Yeah.
We're going to avoid, I don't know if you know who this is. I will not talk about this person just because of the really fucked up subject matter, but do you know about Pollution Entertainment?
I don't.
I'll talk to you about it after recording. But
okay.
If anyone who's watching this knows who that is, we will be avoiding Pollution Entertainment for very obvious reasons. I can get away with talking about Nicci in a very mocking tone because, like, first off, he didn't do anything. If he had actually done what he said he wanted to do, I probably wouldn't talk about him. But the pollution shit is fucked up. All this to say, this is part 1 of a series that we're going to get into because FNaF has like 1,000 controversies. And I'd say like half of them are interesting.
How far in are we?
Hour 22. I don't know what you were saying. You were like,
no, I know how long we're in.
Oh, how?
I know how like much time we've. Oh, how far into our list are we?
Dude, not even like at all. Like we haven't.
I'm running out of steam.
Well, yeah, we're not going much further, but like,
okay,
we haven't gotten to Tyler Olstrom. We haven't brought up Kane Carter's controversy. We haven't brought up Fistnom. We haven't brought up Five Nights with 39. We haven't brought up like all of those controversies.
Right.
This is like what most people, when you think of FNaF controversies, what they know. And I say pollution. If we were even going to bring him up, he'd be like way at the bottom. Not a lot of people know.
I thought you were saying pollution.
No, pollution.
Yeah,
Do you know who that is?
Okay. Yes, okay.
Okay. And so you can see why I don't want to bring that person up.
Obviously. Yeah, no, obviously.
That shit. Ugh.
That's fucked up, yeah.
But anyway.
Okay.
I'm also running out of steam. For
some reason, it's not very fun to talk about this.
It's fun to talk about the other stuff.
Oh yeah, the good one, like, you know.
Nicci's where my brain goes. Make fun. Now I'm sad.
Right.
Taunt, depression.
Pretty much.
But yeah. That's all I have to say. Is there another controversy you think that needs to be brought up in our first episode?
No, I think Nicci's a great finish, like
it's kind of a fucking
ending,
downer ending, but whatever.
Well, yeah, but it gets them hooked for next time.
Yeah, there's some fun ones. There's some controversies
No, yeah,
I love talking about. Again, Theft King, I went on a whole tangent about. I love
Theft King is like the poster child, or like the gold standard for like a good controversy. It's funny to talk about after the fact.
It's also stupid.
Oh yeah, it's fucking ridiculous. Yeah,
it's
silly
borderline Christianian, early Christianian, before like where it's just kind of sad and pathetic. It's not modern Christian where like the borderline cultist stuff. That's another thing I'm really into. And I will reference at other points. I am
every other day we
the
talk,
fucking Christian lore.
Just giving me Christian updates. That's crazy.
Like, yeah, sometimes I'll be like, he did this, or she did this, and he was like, I don't fucking care. It's fair that you don't care. I think it's really funny.
Yeah.
And like,
no, I mean, like it is funny. I just like I'm not like hyper fixated on it like you are.
No, it's
and that's
one of those
okay.
lores. The reason I like FNaF is for the same reason I like Christian and Gorillas. There's a lot of lore. There's a lot of stuff to talk about. All that to say, there will be another controversy episode, but probably won't be till season 2.
Yeah.
But,
which I've been informed we're doing, which I didn't know about, but
don't worry. The gap between
I'm not opposed to it.
It's basically we'll do a video on it. It's just it won't even be a podcast.
It's more
episode.
so. It's. We'll tell you there.
We'll do a whole video on it explaining why we're doing that and what it will look like.
Should frame it like a controversy.
Yeah,
addressing the question.
Season 2. Oh gee, why did they take a break?
Addressing the controversy.
That's what I'll call it. And they'll be like,
the final controversy in the FNaF Controversy tier list is Scott talking second season. That's at the bottom of the iceberg.
Which will be fucked up because by the time we get to the bottom of the tier list, we'll probably be like season 4.
It'll be our turn. That's true.
If we go that long.
What the fuck were we on season 2?
God, why did we even do it? We should have quit while we were ahead. Like
I know.
But no, we'll get into that. We'll do our whole explaining to you what all of that means. But yeah, I'll edit in before this probably a warning of sorts, being like, hey, we talk about some pretty fucked up topics.
You should put it at the end.
Yeah, I'll put it at the end. I'll be like, oh, by the way, warning.
By the way, oh yeah. It's like putting a trigger warning at the end of a movie spoiler. Oh, no, I mean, that's a spoiler warning.
Spoilers, this character dies, and it's like you just watched the character die, and you're like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah.
It's too little too late. Anyway.
Right.
Anything you want to talk about, Taylor?
Fuck no.
Okay, bye.